Hey everyone, hey team, and welcome to our lesson on stock management in ERPNext. My name is Patrick Peary and I'll be your instructor throughout this module. In this video, we will consider how to create different kinds of items that our organization deals in or deals with. Then in subsequent videos, we will consider how to handle the actual stock management of these items. We'll do this by looking at concepts such as warehousing and stock transactions, transactions that is between the said warehouses. We'll start today by taking a look at how our stock ledgers appear so as to get a feel of what we're aiming to achieve. So to do that, we will go to our stock module. On the left here, you see we have a list of modules from accounting, asset, build, buying. So we scroll down, these are in alphabetical order. We go to stock here, and in stock we look for our third list. Right, so the first list is items and pricing, second is stock transactions, third is stock reports. So we'll go into our stock ledger over here, and you will see here it's picture it as an Excel sheet. The first column is our dates, second the names of our items, right? Item and item name, these are identifiers, and then we will see the quantity in question here. So for this item, for example, this is lime, and this was on the 7th of January. We lost 10 units of lime from the warehouse stores, and the balance that we still have is 10. So which means before this we should have had 20 units. As you can see, this report extends further to the right to show us a bit more information like the incoming rates, valuation rates, balance value, and so on and so forth. So however, to build up to this report, we will need to take a series of steps. So we'll go step by step using these videos that we have in the format of a course, if you will. So we'll get started today with creating our items and then seeing how we can work better with these items as we go on. Right, so to get started we'll need a basic definition or understanding of what an item is. So an item, in layman's terms, is any property. It can be physical or non-physical. Think of examples like inventory items, right? Like if you walk into ShopRite, these are things like the bread, the butter, the chicken, the sausage, whatever other items that we buy from ShopRite. The second type of assets of items is assets, right? In the case we're talking about ShopRite here, the assets might be, the tills, the counters, and so on. Other items might be trucks, computers. These are assets, the items that they use in their day-to-day processes in order to achieve their business goals, right? And then the last one is services, intangible items. So in maybe a case of a consulting company, pretty much like our own Bantu Accounting, the services that we offer, we can create those as items too on the system. This can help us to deal with them in invoices and so on. Right. So items can be in two types, as you have seen here. Inventory items and assets being the first type, which are tangible, and then services being intangible. Right. So tangible items have a physical form, which entails a need to keep a count of how many units we have in stock of these items. An example we can use is say a computer, right? So we would need to count how many computers we have. We need to know where these computers are being kept or whose custody they are in, if the computers are assets, for example. If we are a company that sells computers, we would need to know how many we have and in what warehouse these items are. intangible items, services do not have a physical form, so we do not need to keep count of how many units we have. As such, when we create these items, we need to design them in such a way that the system distinguishes them from our tangible items. Right. So let us get started with creating our first item on the system. Here we will take 3 different examples. We will start with inventory items. Right. So to create our first inventory item, we will go to our stock module here again, and then on our lists here you can use the shortcut on top here, but the by the book method of doing it is you click on items here. It's pretty much the same thing. This takes us to a list of all the items that we already have in the system. You can see we have a printer, we have river sand, we have lime, which we talked about, cement, and so on. So here we want to add a new item, and you can see we have this outstanding blue button here saying add item. So we just click on that, and this opens up a quick entry dialog, but we want to do this in full page. So at the bottom here we click edit in full page, and then here we can take a look at the kind of information that we will need to provide for us to create our item. Firstly, you'll notice some fields are red and some are grayed out. So the red fields are required, whereas the grayed out fields you can do even without them. So if I try to save this document without providing any of the red fields, even just one, the system will not allow me to save that document. So an item code, so here we can type in HP computer, or item name. I would suggest we use the same one. Just to keep it simple, we'll discuss relationships between these in future videos. Item group, since we are a company that sells computers, so items like computers to us are going to be products. So we scroll down, then we specify products there. Unit of measure, right? So how do we measure how much of this item we have? So if it was like water, we'd probably be using liters and so on. If it was cement, maybe bags of cement or kgs, right? But because we're talking about computers here, we count them in numbers. We just say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 computers. So then this numbers that we have here fits perfectly, right? After this, as you can see, we've already filled out the required field, so we can save this document and we will have this item on the system. But before we do that, we have to consider those 3 different types of items: inventory items, assets, and services. This is an inventory item, and that is the reason why we need to maintain stock and also include item in manufacturing. If, for example, we use this, whatever item this might be, in a manufacturing process. Imagine this item was like tomato. We might need it to produce some foodstuffs in our production process, right? But here, the point we're taking away is for inventory items, you need to tick this maintain stock button and also include item in manufacturing. The last thing we need is a valuation rate, which is supposed to be the cost of us acquiring this item. So if it were a product that we produce, we would get this from the manufacturing process. But since we are saying we are retailing computers, we buy them from someone, we sell them somewhere else. So then we have to put in the price of 1 unit of this item. So here we will use a 5,500 as a value for 1 computer. And with this, we have our first inventory item ready to go. So we can save it. And then when we go back to our list of items by clicking this item word here, you will see we have HP computer at the top of the list, and this was created now. Item group products. Perfect. Then we go on to our next type of item. So the next type of item is an asset. So an asset, we create it in pretty much the very same way that we've done an inventory item, with just a small twist. Right? So let's take an example of a truck. So we want to create an asset item truck. So we say add item here again, edit in full page. Here we specify the name or the code of this item. We'll say truck. Item group. Do we have a group for assets here? We do not. So we can create a new item group, but for expedience here, we'll just classify it generally as an all item groups. And then trucks, again, we will measure these in numbers. How many trucks do you have? We have 5. Right. And then we untick this maintain stock and include in manufacturing, and instead we tick is fixed asset. After we do this, it asks us for asset category. So trucks, this might be under vehicles or trucks. So I suppose trucks is the best fit. But then again, if you don't have one of those, if this truck does not fit any of these categories, you can always create a new one. So here we'll plug in trucks and we're good to go. As of relating to this button, we will discuss this when we talk about the asset module itself. For now, this is enough. So we'll save this, and if we go back to our items list here, we should be able to see truck at the top. Created now, item group, all item groups. Right, and then we move on to the last type of item, which is a service. So again, add item, edit in full page. We will take a general example of a consultation service. So we'll just say consultation here, consultation here too, group, we'll say services. So for services, the only thing we need to do is untick these 2 tick boxes, because we won't need to maintain stock. You won't need to count how many consultations you still have left in stock. So untick this, and we won't use this product in any manufacturing processes, so we untick that too, and we're done. So these are the only differences. These 2 buttons here, maintain stock, including manufacturing, and is fixed asset. This separates our 3 types of items. So we can save this, and then when we revert to our list, we should be able to see consultation at the top. So we have our 3 types of assets here. 3 types of items, sorry. So this is all we had planned for this video. I hope you guys find it helpful. In our next sessions, we will learn how to add these items to warehouses and move them around, like we said before. Move them around between warehouses and production and so on and so forth. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to shoot them in the comments or in our respective WhatsApp groups, and we will respond as quickly as possible. Lastly, if you wish to keep up with these videos, as we are doing a course style training here, then please subscribe, like, and click that bell icon to sort of help you get those notifications every time we have new content on the site. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you very much for your time.